Hello, everybody. Well, whoever's in here, we see the numbers. We just don't see the people chatting yet.
Yeah.
Uh, so it's me and Nettie here today on Saturdays. If you didn't catch yesterday when I covered for BB3, Nettie's going to be with me here on Saturdays. We're going to be hanging out and talking, and then if I can't make it a day, she's going to be filling in for me. And today we got Rants with Rogers going to be coming up at some point and hanging out with us. But what did you do this week, Nettie? Besides hanging out with everybody, what did you guys? Because I know you're getting ready to go on the road. So did you get anything more of that direction?
Yeah, Mel's been actually working a lot, getting things ready for the rig. He changed out our belt. I forgot which belt that was. Was it the transfer belt that you replaced? Serpentine belt. And then he also did the oil change on it himself. He's learning to do a lot, so this way we don't have to take it in to get it done. And then also working on the Jeep, making sure it's roadworthy, when we start towing it. So we've been pretty busy with that. I have like 9 weeks left of work, so we're counting down, and his is actually a lot less than mine. His is the middle of September. Mine's the end of September when we retire.
Nice.
Yeah.
Nice. Well, that'll be nice for both, since both of you are about retiring at the same time to do that.
Yeah.
And hello, Highland. Hello, RV Weekends. That we got some people. Hello, W Ranch. So you guys are going to be where's the first long trip you're going to take after you're both hitting the road?
We said it's going to take forever to get out of Texas,
Yeah. Yeah.
But our long trip, we are heading to Arizona, and we want to be there by January. So we're going to slowly make our way in that direction. But we really would like to do Mayberry. We just don't know if we're going to be able to swing that way and then come back around. We do have a meetup that we're doing with Living Light RV. They were planning on meeting us here in October, but we don't know how that's going to work out with them being in Canada with the borders. So still up in the air, really, which direction we're going first.
Yeah. That's the thing about everything right now. It's all kind of up in the air just because of everything that's going on with everything else, and trying to figure all that kind of stuff out.
And with you, with the new van, you got all that you're going to be doing a transition into, huh?
Oh yeah. Here in probably about a week. Probably about a week. I'll be heading over there. Because I'm going to order, like I said yesterday, I got to order the stuff and have it come here. Any of the other stuff I got to order. To try to keep it so that separated, so we can still go watch the baby being born. But but yeah, it's gonna be. I got to pick up some 2x4s, a couple of sheets of plywood from here before I head over there. I got to get a power steering pump, and then get it put together and going. And it hasn't been going for a little while, so so I'll get it going. And he's like, hopefully squirrels haven't made any nests in it.
I know.
Like, well, we'll see.
We'll find out.
Yeah, we'll see. And I told him, I was like, well, if nothing else, that's just more content for me to make and put that stuff back together. So gotta look at it that way.
Yeah,
gotta look at it that way for sure.
Hopefully, it won't be like a raccoon, like with Gina Payne.
Oh man,
I hope it won't be like that.
Yeah, those poor cats, and now they can't go outside till she gets the new little enclosure for them to hang out in too. So, oh man, that's
Mine
gonna
goes
be
out on a leash, so and he's been going out on a leash since he was a little baby, so he's used to walking on a leash, and we're out there with them, but he roams that way.
Yeah.
Some cats just fall over and they won't walk, but he does pretty good. You know what I'm looking forward to is when you're able to find that ambulance. That's gonna be cool.
Yeah, once I can do that, like man, I have a bunch of ideas for that. Just just what I want to do with it, and then because I'm going to really put the effort into making when I build that one out too. I want to make sure that it's built for long term stuff. So it's
Mm-hmm.
going to be a more intensive build,
Yeah.
and that's the reason it's going to take time to save up for it, because I want to make sure that I get
Mm-hmm.
better quality whatever I put in it,
Yeah.
whatever item it might be, and yeah, I visualize myself being in it, like way out in the woods, and able to do a show out there,
Oh yeah.
and so I can already see how it's going to be. So we'll see when it actually happens how
Uh-huh.
it's going to be, but I can picture it in my head already.
That's
So
great. Good
yeah.
morning, James Cantonese.
Yeah, Dan's here. Meemaws Matters is here. Oh, Meemaws
Mm-hmm.
Matters. Um, yeah, it's it's gonna be an experience. Like, I'm sure you've been picturing yourself out on the road though too this last little
Yeah, we're
while.
looking forward to actually doing the boondocking because we've been in this park. It'll be 4 years at this one
Wow.
park, and we have moved the coach when we went, on vacation. It's only been moved, I want to say maybe 4 times or three
Right.
times, so we're used to living in it. That's not a problem, but we're ready to experience the boondocking. And Mal did put solar up on the rig, so we're really looking forward to that and getting off
That'll be
grid.
that'll be sweet. I'm sure. Yeah, I'm sure you're not. You don't want to start traveling and then just go to another RV park since you've been
No,
in one that long.
yeah, we don't. We're actually the ones that don't want to go to RV park.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's completely understandable. I mean,
Uh-huh.
that's a long time to be in just one park too. So,
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
so man,
Oh, I see camping therapies here. Good
good
morning.
morning, camping therapy. How are you? Yeah, what have you been watching lately? Like videos that you enjoyed?
We when we have time, we actually we're on a lot. I'm moderating a lot, so I'm watching what I'm moderating
Right, right.
is what's going on. But it's really hard to say because when we have any any time to ourselves, we're trying to work on stuff for us, and especially helping out Mel's mom. She's still here, not too far from us, so we've been going over there and helping her with something she needs done, at her place. So
Yeah,
I would say a lot of new channels, especially new subscribers that I've been getting. I've been going to them and watching their content, but I really want to get back into watching the ones that we used to watch all the time, which was Nomadic Fanatic. We loved
yeah,
him. We love watching his stuff.
yeah.
And of course, Living Light RV. And I'm trying to remember the rest. We got such a big favorite list. It's hard to
Oh
remember
yeah.
everybody,
Well, Matt is here, so I'm gonna bring him up.
Oh, great.
Hey guys.
Hello.
Well,
Good
good
morning.
morning.
Good
Good morning,
morning.
Melnette. Nice to see you, Bob.
Nice to see
Yeah.
you.
Oh, I gotta tell you guys, I got one of the better night's sleep I've had in I want to say maybe years last night.
Wow.
So I'm a little
Awesome.
groggy. Yeah, wow. I'm usually I did wake up at 3. That's typical, but I actually fell back asleep and woke up just before 7. I'm like, I gotta be on Bob's. So here we are. I'm here. I've got coffee, and so life is good. But
Yeah,
yeah,
I got my coffee. Yep.
I don't sleep really well usually, so it was a nice treat last night for sure.
Oh, well, that's awesome.
So what are
Yeah.
we up to this morning?
We're just hanging out with each other, talking to each other,
Mhm.
Yeah.
hanging out with the chat and everything.
Yeah.
So Matt, Nettie went over there and she.
I was gonna say, computer chick's already on me. She's already on me. Bob.
Already.
I
Yeah.
mean, can't I at least wake up for a second here, computer
Yeah.
chick? Before
That's-
it's relentless with that woman. I tell you what.
yeah. Dude, she's as bad as the YouTube bot that she that she goes after sometimes.
Serious, right? You gotta love her though. You gotta love her spirit. That's the thing. So you can't
Yeah.
you can't get too mad.
Nope, that's for sure. Natty went through and she was looking at your stuff, and she saw that you haven't been on YouTube too long.
Yeah.
No, I started my channel in late September, early October of last
Mhm.
year. I created an account and actually got my son going before I ever did anything. Because he wanted to do a channel and he wanted to be a gamer, and stuff. He's
Mhm.
8. He's 8 right now. He was 7 at the time. And so I kind of learned the ropes, if you will, through him, like setting up the channel and learning how to upload and do all that stuff. And so we did that for a few months. I went just because he was young, and I'm like, oh, it's only like $30. I bought him like 1,000 subscribers just so that he would like feel like
Oh.
that was before like I knew
Yeah.
that was really a bad thing to do. I never did that with my channel. I haven't bought any for my channel because I learned the lesson there. As I started to look into it more, people were like, oh, don't do that. But
Mhm.
for a kid, like it was cool for him to have that many, So
Yeah.
it was more of just a optics thing for me to do that for him. But yeah, and so I learned how to do it, and I mean somewhat. And then people at my work had always told me, because I'm kind of the old guy around there. I work with a lot of younger people, and old man Rogers, I'm called all the time. And anyway, I like to rant, like I guess like
Yeah,
us
that's what I
old
noticed.
guys do. And like, you should
Yeah.
start a YouTube channel. And so here we are. I started it up and ran into Bob at some point
Yeah.
back a few
Yeah.
months ago. And it's just been so cool to watch the community, people like Computer Chick and
Mhm.
yourself, and just the people that we've met along the way. And I think all of us could say this. It's really been the coolest part of this whole thing.
Yeah.
And you know what I noticed too, Bob, when I went over there to check out Rants with Rogers, is how long his content is. And I've been told not to have it very long because they tend to squirrel and not stay on the content.
Yeah.
So I like that you don't have them very long, but they're still pretty cool.
Yeah, I do live streams like you guys are, and those obviously go long.
Yeah.
The actual videos that I make typically are pretty short. The rants
Mhm.
themselves are a couple of minutes. Because I agree, I don't think people are going to sit there and watch a 15-minute rant. I mean, nobody's got the time for that. But if you can, I try to produce mine up. Some of them are just straight talk, one spot, no editing really. But if I get creative, I like to edit them, kind of highly produce them, make them a little more entertaining to watch. And those are the ones I enjoy the most. They just take more
Mhm.
time, obviously.
Yeah. Yeah. And I was gonna say, man, um, when I had you do that video review in it, way back in the day, like that's one thing that because I was really on the edge of not doing it anymore, and you reviewing that video and being like, well, there's not much I would change. I'm like, all right, so that gave me the confidence in myself to be like, no, I'm all right. I can actually do this. I just
Yeah.
got to get the people around to be able to do it. So I
Mhm.
really appreciate that you do
Aw.
that. I'm sure you've helped other people too with their videos. So
Well, I didn't know that, Bob. I never knew that you were close to calling it quits on it there. So wow, that's really cool. I remember that video that I did, that video review, and you were out like working on battery or something. I can't recall exactly,
yeah,
but just the way you presented yourself in that video and the music that you used. I mean, uh it was like you could feel it, and that's something that I stress to people, given my background in storytelling and journalism. Like, you want somebody to feel your story, and you obviously have a story that's worth feeling, so to speak. I
yeah,
mean, it kind of comes from the heart, obviously. So if you're creating content that's not based on your life's journey, then it's a little bit, I think, harder. But at the same time, conveying what you're feeling and what you're going through isn't easy either. And you do that just really naturally, Bob. And I think that I heard somebody say once, it's called YouTube for a reason. I mean, it's about, it is about you, I mean, at the end of the day. And so I think it's important to remember that when you're creating your videos and you're doing your live streams. You don't have to tell everybody everything, but people want to get to know you, So you do a really good job of that. So I think I'm so glad you've kept it up, because look at you now, man.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh yeah, me too. Yeah, and I am too. I'm just it's just one of those things that I want to tell you I appreciate it. And hello, Coneman, Reverend Tommy Two Tones in here too. So yeah, man. Have you? Is there any ones that you've reviewed that have just that made you laugh and stuff like that? People have sent in just when you first watched them.
Yeah. One of the guys that really cracks me up, a couple of them really, Danny Ronner, his stuff is pretty funny. I mean, the guy's just kind of got that dry kind of wit about him. He gets creative with it. I really like his content. Another guy who I really enjoy, and actually I'm going to have him on next week. I'm doing my Rogers Reveals with him supposedly on next Wednesday, is the boy John. And I don't know if you're familiar with the boy John, but this guy is super talented, and he's out of the UK, and he's funny. His shooting and his editing and his storytelling are just really like better than I can do. And his channel went from like under 1,000 subscribers. He did a video about like a 30-day without his phone challenge thing. And his channel blew up to over 10,000 subscribers basically overnight. Wow. Yeah. I mean, he went from not being monetized, not even having 1,000 people, to being monetized in over 10K. I mean, just bam, like that. And, I can see why. I mean, he's really good. So, I mean, there are people out there that I come across and I see their content, and I'll literally go get my wife, Erin, and be like, hey, you got to watch this. This is really cool. It's amazing. It's amazing some of the talent out there. I mean, it really is. It really, and some of them don't have the 10,000, they have a couple hundred. They're just getting started, or they just haven't caught that break or whatever. And you're like, wow, this person should have 1 million, I mean, they're that good.
Yeah.
So ultimately you hope that if you are putting out good stuff, ultimately something will happen and you'll catch that break, I suppose is kind of the dream, right? I cannot imagine what it would be like to go to bed and to wake up and have something like that happen. I mean, that would just be like, wow.
That's nuts. That's nuts.
And you probably don't run out of content, right? Because there's so many things you can rant about.
That's so true. Yeah. You got that right. You got that right. And, and I like to open it up to others too. It's my channel and I, do the majority of it, but I actually started, Bob knows I started Rant Wars. I like to let other people see. The whole goal of my channel is to, and it's my slogan, to bring social awareness to everyday annoyances. Okay.
Yeah.
It's the stuff that just bugs us that we come across every day. And it's like, let's get it out there and call it out for what it is. So maybe somebody won't do it next time.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly.
Like leaving the door open.
Yeah. Yeah. Shut the damn door.
And without me realizing, my husband, he has that all the time. He's telling me what's going on at work and just his way to work. And when you get to work, you got to like leave your common sense behind because it's not there, So
I know.
Wow, that's pretty cool.
The trickiest part has been I try to keep my channel pretty much family friendly.
Yeah.
So to do rants without cursing like a sailor is that makes it a little trickier, but it's important to me to set a good example for my kids. I mean, do I cuss? Of course I do, but when it comes to being, and with my job, I can't be on here dropping F-bombs and things like
Oh,
that.
yeah.
So I try to, and I ask that of other people too, if they come
Mhm.
on and do a rant, and people are really respectful of that. And so, but it does make it harder. Like, it's a lot easier to do a rant when you can just sit there and
You have to be a little more creative when you can't use swear words. That's for sure.
yeah, yeah,
Mhm.
for sure.
So how did you start out doing your career, Matt? Doing news. Like how did that begin?
Mhm.
Yeah. Well, went to college and really didn't have any idea what I wanted to do. Came across communications, thought, all right, you know what? That sounds like it could be fun. Got a degree in broadcast communications, and then got my first job in Boise, Idaho as a news photojournalist. So, a camera guy, the guy with the big, huge Herkin camera running around, killing my back and my shoulder. And the year that I spent in Boise was a really great year because as far as just learning the ropes, I mean, there was a lot of action that year. Wildfires, there were, a lot of shootings and things, like just breaking news, like the stuff that get your blood pumping, and at least initially in your career. Now, as you get older and you've done that 100 times, it's not as exciting anymore. You kind of become a little numb to it, which is unfortunate, but just human nature. But anyway, I left there, came up to Spokane, which I grew up in Eastern Washington, and I've been here ever since. It's been 23 years now.
Oh, wow.
I came up here as a cameraman, and pretty early on they morphed that into what they call a one-man band, where I was a cameraman and reporter all by myself, right? So I would set the camera up, nobody'd be behind it, and I would stand in front of it and do my reports. And then I did that for a long time, did sports for a couple years, but that wasn't working out real well for my family life because it's nights and weekends, and came back to mornings, and eventually started anchoring. And so I've been anchoring now for over 5 years, and just love it. I'm not on the streets anymore, which honestly, when it's 10 degrees outside on a Spokane winter morning and you're out there talking about the snow and people being idiots on the roads, I'd much rather be inside the studio, with a warm cup of coffee and the lights. So anyway, it's been a journey, and I'm in a good spot now. I really enjoy it. I will say this though, the last few months have been by far the most taxing mentally on me in my career. Just some of the news that we've been covering, between the the virus and the racial stuff going on, and it's just been a lot. And I do 4 hours. I do 4 hours a morning. I'm on the entire state of Montana starting at 4 a.m. our time, and then I am on in Eastern Washington, North Idaho, down into Oregon from 7 to 9 a.m. our time. So it's 4 hours plus a bunch of other things we have to do, of just talking about the same stuff. And it's been taxing. I'm not gonna lie. It's been hard. I never thought it would be hard to do this job, when it comes to that, but for the first time, it really has been.
Yeah, it's really interesting to hear you say that after you said, you get so numb to have
I know,
to have it affect you, and
Yeah.
that much is so if it affects you that much, it's affecting all of us a lot worse. That's why I don't even really watch any news or anything lately, just because it's always that way.
No, I mean, honestly, I don't blame you a bit, Bob. I don't blame you a bit. I mean, you want to know what's going on with all of this, but boy, take it in small doses, guys. If I could suggest anything, because it really will overwhelm you. And and I think the reason it's affecting me is just the sheer volume of it. 4 hours a day. It's just been. But I mean, I also look at it like we're getting information out there that, you know, people do need to know. I take my job very seriously in the sense of I like to stick to the facts and not get involved in all of the hypotheticals with all of this. I see that a lot, and it bothers me. You know, so journalism is not what it was when I started 20 some odd years ago. There's just no doubt about it. I mean, there's the 24-hour news cycle now that is constantly pushing agendas one way or the other. You've got journalists that call themselves journalists, but they're really just opinion people. And you know, it's just kind of a weird and not real fun. I'm being honest, not real fun time to be in this business. It's just, but it's important too. So
you're not having to work at a home? Are you actually working?
No, I'm in the studio.
Yeah, in the studio.
We have done a little bit of that. They've split the anchor teams up where for a while there, we weren't both on set together. But they've kind of backed off that now, and they've allowed us to be back on set with spacing put into place. And, you know, there's some limitations there, but yeah, no, we're back. We're in the studio. But we have had a lot of that work from home stuff, you know, anchors from home, reporters, and this kind of thing. So
yeah,
I think companies and businesses are figuring out that that's an option. I'm really curious to see what that's going to mean in long term, you know, when it comes to some jobs and some industries, because it's stuff that hadn't really been tried too much, but with technology like what we're using now and some of the other platforms out there, and seems like everybody's got a way to go live now. I don't know. We'll see what happens.
Yeah, it's gonna be interesting thing to see what happens. Because basically, like you're saying, everybody can be a news reporter. Like you were the one-man band. Basically, anybody has the possibility to do it now. So
I know, and they do. Whether it's on Facebook or Twitter, or boy, I mean, that's you can get lost in some real stuff there. I try to really steer. I'm not a big social media guy. I do it for YouTube, you know, to push out my videos and stuff like that, but man, you go in there looking for information on a topic, whoo, good luck. I mean, you're going to come out battered and bruised most of the time, you know, if you get involved in conversations with people. It's crazy.
Yeah. And Beyond B3, nice to see you in here this morning. Hope you're doing well.
We got Papa Drew that came in, and also Reverend Tommy Two-Tone. He came in.
Yeah, and
Reverend
Wheeler.
Tommy Two-Tone. I like that name. That's a cool. I love the names. Don't you guys?
Yeah. He makes hot sauce too. Reverend Tommy does.
I don't think I'm familiar with that channel. I'll have to check it out. Wow.
It's award-winning. It's actually award-winning.
Wow. Okay. Well, cool.
Yep.
Now.
Yeah.
Oh, go ahead, Bob.
I was gonna say, has there been one story that you covered that you just actually loved going out and covering, or a certain person?
You know, gosh, there was a story that I did that was a lot of fun here within the last 5 years. When you do have the opportunity to do, this was back, actually it might've been more than that. Back when I was before I was really anchoring full time. I actually did have a chance to do a lot of feature stories, and I got to go out and meet a guy who was in his 90s, who was a golfer, and I love golf. I haven't played much this year, unfortunately, but he was in his 90s and he played like every day, and he was the oldest like member of this club in town, golf club. And so I went out and played a couple holes with him and shot a story with him, and it was just a kick in the pants. This guy just cracked me up. In fact, he was so cool, and it came out really good, the piece that I put together. But he actually invited me back. He's like, well, you got to come back out and play sometime, you know? And so a couple weeks later, I went out and we played a whole round of golf together, just me and him. And it was just neat. You know, it's just getting to meet people like that.
Oh,
Sports, go ahead. Oh, the
I was gonna
Crockers.
say
Cool.
the
Oh, good
Crockers are here.
morning. The Crockers are here.
You hopped in their chat last night and saw how crazy that was, Matt. I saw you in there for a
Yeah.
minute.
I've
Yeah.
been starting to watch some of their stuff. It's very cool to see what they're doing there. It's in Oklahoma, I think, right? Yeah.
Yep. Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah, just real easy, down to earth. Chat. I really liked it. So, good morning to the Crockers. Keep it
Yeah.
up. They're obviously kicking some butt on this whole YouTube thing, but
Oh, yes, they are.
just past 70,000
that's wild,
recently.
man.
So yeah.
Wow.
That's amazing. Yeah.
But I've had a chance to cover some kind of cool sporting events. NCAA. We have a team here in Spokane, Gonzaga, the Bulldogs, and they're always in the NCAA tournament. And so I've got to travel in the tournament with them. One of our local college football teams was in a national championship game at a lower level, not the top level, but Eastern Washington University. It was in Frisco, Texas, and I was on the field when they won the national championship. So that was kind of cool. But it's hard to. I mean, I've done a lot of things, and it's hard to think about all of them. To be honest with you, my memory isn't what it used to be.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Was there a story like when you first started that you were nervous to go cover because you hadn't went out and covered them before, so you were kind of nervous to go out?
Oh yeah, all of them. I mean, when you first start in this business, it's intimidating. I mean, you're shoving a camera in somebody you don't know's face, and it might be what I always hated, and one of the reasons I'm so thankful I'm not out doing that anymore is, and I just don't understand it. I mean, I do, but I don't. Why we always have to get the reaction from somebody who just lost their daughter or their son or their loved one, and the management wants you to go up and knock on their door and put a camera in their face and ask them, how do you feel? Well, how the hell do you think they feel?
Exactly.
And so you want to talk about intimidating initially, and really it was never, no matter how long you do it, that's never fun. But yeah, I mean, all of it really, because you have deadlines too. It's every day you have to get your stuff done, and you got to get it edited, and you got to get it ready for air by a certain amount of time. That's one of the nice things about YouTube. I mean, you want to try to keep to a schedule, but there's really no true deadline. You can upload it whenever you really want to,
Right.
but not in the news. I mean, you got to have it ready at 5 o'clock or 6 o'clock or whatever the case may be. So that was a lot of pressure too. Editing always stressed me out. To this day, I like to edit this stuff, but I've got some bad memories of editing from back in the day, and so it's not my favorite thing to do.
And then you go through all that, and then because I kind of found out from other places kind of how it works. Sometimes you have to pitch the story, go through all that work, editing all that stuff, and then the producer can still kill the story even if you get it in by the deadline because they just couldn't use it that day or ran out of time.
Yeah, or there's breaking news that happens, and they have to what they call float the story because there's they've got to get to the breaking news first, and then they run out of time because obviously the newscasts are structured with X amount of time, and so that happens all the time. You could put your heart and soul into a piece, and then if it's not a story that is what you call evergreen, where it's could be used really anytime, if it's actually specific to just that day, then it's gone. Now, nowadays they can put it on the web and Facebook, and there's some other platforms, that they can at least get it some exposure. But when I first started in my career, that wasn't an option. So like literally that stuff would be gone and nobody would ever see it. And that's like kind of a bummer, but breaking news in any newsroom, pretty much breaking news rules. And so that's just part of what you sign up for, I guess. Yeah.
I want to hear about this rant that you did that lasted like over 5 hours. How did that go? Didn't you
Whoa.
do? Yeah. Well, it was almost like 6 hours, right?
A rant that I did for 5 hours. Ah, boy, I don't. What did I do that on?
It says rant with Rogers TV.
Oh,
Oh, that's different.
Is it
okay.
different?
Yeah. So you know what I do? It's something that I months ago that I decided to start doing because I was realizing that boy, watch time
Yeah.
to get monetized is pretty hard to come by. So what I started to do was I built a playlist and I would take like my 50 most recent or favorite videos and I put them into a playlist and then I would run that playlist live and then be not on camera, but in the chat,
Mm-hmm.
talking with people. And so then I would get everybody who was watching it and stuff, I would get that watch time. And it was a way to expose people to some of my older videos that they probably,
Oh,
don't go digging back through. Cause let's be honest,
mhm.
like how often do we go to a channel and like dig back through all their old videos, right? We usually
Right.
don't.
Mhm.
So
Mm-hmm.
I do that. I do that. In fact, I might do that later today because I'm not planning on uploading anything today,
Mm-hmm.
unless I play a little Fortnite, which you never know. But
Yeah.
I tell you what, I laugh at that. But some of my most engaging, most viewed, most that get the most subscribing videos are when I play Fortnite. I don't, and look, I suck at the game. I just have fun because I open
Yeah.
it up to let people come in and play with me, and some of the kids think it's cool and they're on a stream and it's um but say what you will, and that's really not what my channel is about. But every once in a while, I mix in a gaming video. I'll go
Mm-hmm.
live, but it's popular. I mean,
Yeah.
wild how many people out there are into the gaming stuff. It really is.
Yeah. Miss Southern Belle, good morning.
Good
And
morning.
Chasing America, you just had them on
Mm.
Rogers Reveals recently.
I sure did. They were so gosh, Condon and Erica. Good morning to you guys. I hope you're safe. They're amazing. They're just so nice. And had a great conversation with them while they were trucking down the road in South Carolina in their 18 wheeler. I was interviewing them live and Condon honked the horn for me. I gave him the old, come on,
Mm-hmm.
but that's what I mean. Like, I love that. This is what I like the most. I would rather, and maybe it's because that's what I do now. I talk live. But this is kind of where I'm the most comfortable. I do like creating videos if I get an idea, but I'd rather just sit here and BS with people. It's where I'm the most comfortable, I think.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And Sustainably Yours Homestead, my kids will sit for hours and watch someone play a video game
Yes.
if I let them.
Yeah.
I know mine too. Sustainably Yours. My son, he's 8, and now he's a good little gamer. I'm not gonna lie. Like, I'm not necessarily gonna discourage him because my God, there's money in that now. It's
Yeah.
crazy. Like, and at his age, his talent level, he actually, I mean, we'll see. But
Mm-hmm.
yeah, if he's not playing, he'll be sitting there watching videos of people playing. So it's a thing, whether we agree with it or whether we embrace it or not. I always try to remember because, again, I'm always harping at him, get outside and play and blah, blah, blah.
Mm-hmm.
But I also try to remember that I remember playing a lot of Atari and Nintendo and stuff back in the day
Yeah.
too, so,
Mhm.
and it's tough for these kids right now, you guys. I mean, they can't really see their friends like they're accustomed to doing.
Mm-hmm.
School got cut out, and so they didn't have that. Who knows what's going to happen in the fall? And so they get on there, and what we didn't have the ability to do when we were gaming, they're actually on with their chat and they're talking and they're at least able to communicate with each other a little bit, So it's, I don't know. It's basically the only social element that they can get right now. So I don't really want to
Mm-hmm.
necessarily take that away from them either.
Right.
It's just a mix, it's a balance. You gotta balance it out, I think, is the key.
Yeah. Yeah. What has been since you started your own channel, like we don't think it was real, but I think if it was real, was Ninja popping in the chat that one time, the craziest moment?
Yeah, I kind of use that as a little bit of clickbait. It didn't really work. I don't think it's got that many views, but no, there was a guy or somebody that came in and they had the ninja avatar and it just said, "How's it going?" And it said ninja. And so when I saw that, as you saw in the video, I started reacting to it and just kind of played it off like, "Oh, hey, we got Ninja in here,"
Yeah.
And that's when you're live streaming. I mean, I think that's what you have to be able to do, right? I mean, if something comes up, whether it's in a conversation or you're gaming or whatever, what makes a good live stream is the ability to kind of zig and zag and react and kind of take the conversation somewhere you maybe weren't planning if it's leading that direction. And so, I just kind of went with it. And then I thought, actually that would make a pretty funny upload. And so I uploaded that, but I don't think it was really Ninja, Bob. I think that was,
Oh yeah, more than likely it wasn't, but still.
No, I'm sure not. But I think that's a good, for anybody out there that's doing a lot of live streams, and I know you guys could attest to this. I just think that's something to always keep in mind. Don't be too rigid with your structure. You got to be willing to go with the flow a little bit. So it'll make your stream better for sure.
Well, you probably get a lot of that from having to do the newscast though too.
Yeah,
because stuff happens there live all the time, like getting your ear hair pulled out by your anchor on air.
Yeah, and then my wife did it to me.
Yeah.
Oh.
First of all, I don't even where are these ear hairs coming from? I don't see them. Oh yeah. Yeah, my wife, she's really taken this whole thing to another level. She comes on with me on Thursdays, and it's just a constant. It's like having computer chick sitting right next to me. It's just a constant barrage of things. But honestly, I think she looks forward to it. I look forward to it. It's in this busy world. I mean, if you can spend an hour with your wife or your husband and just kind of let loose a little bit, I think it's good for your relationship. And again, I go back to the overall theme of my channel. Why not bring this stuff up? If it's bugging you, if you don't like it, it doesn't do you any good to keep it in. Now, you don't have to verbally, attack somebody. I mean, I have some rules. I don't allow politics or religion in my rants. I don't allow you to personally attack another person. It's just more just the common everyday things that happen, And so but now she and I can personally attack. That's, there are exceptions there. And believe me, she takes full advantage of that. But, I think it's been good for our marriage, honestly. I know it sounds kind of weird, but I really do. I think it has been.
and computer chick, of course. Aaron's half the channel. Without moderator privileges too.
Right. Well, that's the thing too. For anybody here who doesn't know it, my wife is not basically everybody who comes on my streams, I mod. But my wife is not a moderator on my channel. And I'm a moderator on Arizona Insiders, Chip and Danielle's thing, and sometimes Aaron and I will be on there on our own separate accounts chatting, and I'm the only mod on that channel, I think, right now. And so I'll put her in timeout if she starts in on me. She gets so mad.
Yeah, that didn't work out though. Well, he learned that timeouts don't work in real life because she came downstairs after the other street. Yeah,
she showed up in front of my camera and just or in my right. Yeah, it was.
Yeah, she didn't want to come on
funny.
camera because you're like,
No.
oh, you want to come on with your 90? And all of a sudden she changed her mind and went back into timeout.
Yeah. Yeah, it's a lot of fun. It really is. I've really enjoyed it. I just started live streaming. I started live streaming once I I think I started live streaming once I hit 1,000 subscribers. Is that right, Bob? Can you remember? I want to
either
say that was,
1,000 or right before. It was
Yeah.
right around there.
yeah, because I wanted to do something kind of different and special to celebrate the 1,000 subscribers. And so, I think that was it. Now, when I get monetized, which hopefully is going to be here in a couple months, I've got to come up with something for that too. You want to celebrate these milestones with something fun, right? I mean, I don't know. Maybe I'll make some merch or something. I don't know if anybody'd ever buy any of it, but yeah. So, but yeah, so live streaming, but obviously it kind of came natural to me, just given my background.
Well, I think a good shirt would be I put you in timeout.
There you go. I like it. I like that.
So how's it been? Because I know you were up late doing the bracketology for the Rant Wars bracket. And you said you can't believe it. The people that actually have to do the NCAA tournament.
Oh my gosh.
They must lose their minds.
Can you imagine?
What was the hardest part about making that bracket? Was it figuring out who's going to go against who in the first round so you don't have like the mega matchups right away?
It wasn't that hard. I was just kind of, playing it up a little bit. But I mean, yeah, I wanted to make sure that the people that got the most wins in the qualifying rounds. I mean, remember, we did 8 episodes of Rant Wars building up to the tournament, because I had to get 16 individual people into the tournament. And a lot of times we'd have repeat winners from previous episodes. So I would say, I wanted to make sure that those that got more wins, were rewarded for that. So I gave them the number 1 seeds. I let them have the option of whether they want to go first or second. I'm trying my best. It's not possible for all of them, but to make it to where the time of the Rant War for the tournament is maybe more convenient for them. So I mean, that was kind of the first thing that I wanted to do. And then, picking out the 1 and 2 seeds were pretty easy because there was a pretty defined list of people that had won the most and the second most. And, that filled those out. The 3 and 4 seeds, it was just kind of I just kind of picked them and went with it. There wasn't really a lot of science behind that per se, but,
right.
I was a little disappointed the opening night of the tournament that we had a couple of people that couldn't make it. Angry Ranter decided that he just wasn't up for it. Ridge Mallory, I really feel bad because he was actually helping an older couple put in windows, was out of range, and tried to get into range in order to do his rant, but we stalled as long as we could. And everybody in the chat was like, well, I think, we had to forfeit him, and he was a number 1 seed.
Wow.
Yeah. So, but part of this, I can't control everybody's schedule. So I put it out there. I say, here it is. Be there or you forfeit, that's all I can do really. Otherwise this thing would drag on for years, and I'd like to get this season, we'll do this season, and then I'll probably take a break, and then we'll ramp it back up again. I think Rant Wars is here to stay. I like it. I enjoy it. It's an opportunity for you, the viewer, to come on and let everybody know what's bugging you. And that's, again, it goes back to the core meaning behind my channel. So it was just kind of something I thought up, and it's gotten to be something that I think people are looking forward to on Tuesday nights, because I actually did a rant before I started Rant Wars about how I hate Tuesdays. It's my worst. It's my worst day of the week, and I did a whole rant on that. And now I don't mind Tuesdays as much because we got Rant Wars. That's why I put it on Tuesday nights, to try to jazz up my Tuesdays a little bit.
Yeah, I mean, you had a whole list on that video too of like everything that goes wrong on Tuesdays, like statistically and everything.
Yeah, like the Christmas Eve is least likely to fall on a Tuesday. Like people are less likely to barbecue on a Tuesday, and all this stuff. You know, some historical elements. Constantinople fell on a Tuesday, so the Greeks don't like it. I mean, it was like it was just kind of. It was kind of. It's it's amazing what you can find. Just type in, Tuesdays and his history and but yeah. Oh, wow. Reverend Tommy Two-Tone Rants in the voice of Earl Pitts. Well, come on, Rant Wars, man.
Yeah.
We need that.
Yeah.
And it looks like our Epic RV came in as well, Bob.
Yep. Hello, Epic. How are you doing? Oh, at 10,000 subs, Papa Drew's going to twerk on the beach. Wow.
That's funny.
Well, that's if I'm not already subbed to you, Papa Drew, which I think I am, but I'll double check. That you'll get one more from me. That sounds entertaining. I don't know if I want to see that necessarily.
I know, right?
It's like a train accident. You won't be able to look away, and I think that's going to be his viral video. Like people are going to go, "Who is this guy twerking on the beach?" And then he'll be at 100,000 before you know it.
That's what it takes these days, right? Just do a twerk in public and you'll blow up.
Oh, and Arizona Insider's here. We were talking about you earlier.
Yeah, we were. You don't want to know what we were saying, Chip.
BB3 dislikes Monday, Tuesday, and Thursdays.
Thursdays don't bother me. Mondays I could see. A lot of people don't like Mondays, but I didn't go with Mondays because I felt like, you've had a little bit of R&R over the weekend, hopefully, maybe a couple stories to tell. So you're a little more refreshed than maybe, Monday. But Tuesdays, there's nothing, right? I mean, there's just nothing to get excited about.
Yeah.
Until now.
Yeah.
Well, Matt, I can honestly say that I'm looking forward to your channel. I haven't seen your content, into the research I started doing, and it looks pretty cool.
Well, thank you.
Bob brought you today, so I was able to come over to your channel and connect. So it's going to be a lot of fun.
Well, I'm so excited. Thank you for saying that. It is fun, and I think anyway, we try to do a pretty wide variety of things, and I mean, Bob, if you don't mind, I mean, to Melnette and everybody else here, if you'd like me to take a look at a video, I mean, seriously, go to my community tab. I have a post in there, the big video camera. Drop a link to a video that you'd like me to take a look at. And on Sunday mornings, if I have enough of them, I do video reviews. I just kind of offer some of my experience, and it's really laid back, and I don't attack anybody, or I'll tell you what I think you're doing great, as well as some things I think maybe you could work on or make it better. And people seem to be pretty receptive to that. And so just want to invite anybody to do that. If you're looking for somebody to go over your videos, I'd be more than happy to.
It's pretty cool.
Yeah. And he's won an Emmy, so he might know what he's talking about a little bit.
Yeah.
Yeah, I did win an Emmy. That's true.
I was going to say, Sustainably Yours said they hate Tuesdays too because the kids are still having to sleep on Mondays, so they're much better than Tuesdays.
Well, that's a different way of not liking Tuesday, but yeah, see, there you go. I get it. I get it. Believe me.
Up and a little bit crazy. Just came in the door.
A little bit popped in. Hello, a little bit.
Crazy.
How was the Emmy experience? Like, was it submitted and you found out that you were nominated? Is that how that worked out? Or
yeah, so Emmys are. I've only submitted twice in my whole career. The first time I didn't get nominated on a story that I actually paid the $100 and something to put into the mix. And how it works is a committee will nominate videos, right? And then they have a whole big shindig. For our region, it's over in Seattle, and they announce the actual winner. So just if you get nominated, it doesn't necessarily mean you won. But so I didn't go to the big party, and I didn't win. And I was like, okay, the story that I had submitted had won all kinds of awards, AP, SPJ, news photographer awards. I mean, it was like a clean sweep. So I was like, kind of like, wait, what? I didn't, I was bummed. And so for years I didn't submit one, and I wasn't going to submit the one that I won the Emmy on, but there was a whole group of us, our wildfire coverage of what was called the Carlton Complex fires in the Okanagan Valley back in 2014. It burned down most of a town and just a lot of destruction. And we did some serious coverage on that fire. And I was a big part of it, both as a reporter and as a photojournalist. And so everybody was putting their name into it. And I'm like, well, hell, okay, I'll put my name in there as a reporter. And, well, that one won. It got nominated and it won.
Oh, wow.
And I didn't go to the party. It's pretty expensive, honestly. And it just kind of wasn't my thing. So, but I knew Bob would ask about this. So, by entering, you had to pay the money, but, I did win the trophy. So there it is.
Nice.
And I'll tell you what, it's legit. These things are heavy, but it's, you can see
awesome.
It says on there, my name and what the story was and all of that. So it's something to put on the mantle and be proud of. I don't think I'll probably ever enter again. I got one. I'm good, but it's kind of cool. I mean, honestly, and people, I mean, it does definitely bring some instant credibility, I guess, when people hear that. So I'm glad I got it, but I don't think I'll ever throw my name in the hat again.
Right. But it's still cool to have as doing that for your career, to have that, to be like, I have one of those that I got. And, there's something, like I say, credible about being able to say you're an Emmy award-winning journalist. I mean, it just kind of like, oh, okay, so you're not just, some schmo that just blaps on TV and doesn't know what he's talking about. And what I'm actually really proud of with that is that it was from my reporting, from being out in the field. So I feel like most anchors, if they haven't spent any time in the field, and I spent a couple decades in the field, they don't really necessarily have a full understanding of what they're talking about when they're commenting on situations, whether it's fires or, riots or whatever. I mean, you have to have been there and experienced it, I think, in order to really know. And so I think I'm really, at the end of the day, I'm glad that I had that experience for so long. I think I wish it would have come a little bit sooner, but because my back and neck are hurting me these days from all the years with the camera. But yeah, I'm glad to have had that background now and be able to bring that to the anchor desk. It probably allows you to treat the reporters that go out better than some of the anchors that never had to go out to a little bit better to understand their plight. That's
a great point, Bob. Yeah, I mean, I can feel their pain. Like when they're out there. I know what they're going through from experience, and that's a great point. So I think it does help with that for sure, and I think they are less likely to be, have attitude towards me, because of that too, because they know, okay, he's done it. He's not just some suit that reads a teleprompter. He's actually done it. And I think that means a lot to the reporters as well.
Yeah.
So what's the story?
Oh, go ahead.
I'm sorry. Yeah, Camping Therapy had a question. I saw that came up.
She was asking about if you had heard about the missing Amish girl story.
No. She was asking Melnette.
Yeah, she tagged me, so I was able to see it to ask you. That's how they do it in the chat. Yeah.
Well, I don't know where camping therapy, where are you from? Because I have not, but to be honest, I haven't looked up any news this morning. I got
Mhm.
up late and came right on Bob's.
Yeah.
It's all good, all good. And Bob the Raptor and Joe are here as well,
And Uncle Lisa.
and Uncle Lisa. He finally woke up.
He's from
Now,
Finland.
yeah, and I wanted to know, Matt, because see, I got people here. I shouldn't open my mouth because you shouldn't do that on YouTube. But I said, if they make a picture of me riding a tiger shirtless, that I'll get a tattoo of it.
There
And
it is.
they deliver. So now I'm getting more and more in. So I'm gonna choose the best one and get the tattoo of it. But
Yeah.
Wait,
Yeah.
was that the picture of Putin on the horse there, and then with your head on it?
yeah, with my head and then put on a tiger. Yep.
Yeah,
Out in the snow.
that's that picture of Putin riding the horse
Yeah.
shirtless, isn't it? I
Yeah.
knew it. I know those pecs from anywhere.
Yeah, much better than mine. So hey, Photoshop me on a better looking body. That's fine all day with me.
Oh my god, that is disturbing yet entertaining, Bob.
Exactly.
So wait, so you're gonna get a tattoo of that?
Not of that exact one.
Okay.
There have been more that are submitted now.
Oh yeah, there's several now.
Yeah, there's
It's
one
like,
that's
it's
there.
like a rant war. They're just keep
Yep.
coming out.
Awesome.
One that looks like they took He-Man and they put my face on He-Man's body on the back of the tiger. Let's see. There's one they took my face, and the Nirvana Nevermind album. They
Yeah,
put my
yeah.
face on the baby, so it's me and the in there. So yeah, we got lots of stuff going on.
Oh my gosh. And I'm sorry, but what started all of that again?
Because my buddy Daydream About Nice Things. They did him riding the bear shirtless with the Putin body and his head on that, and then he made a sticker out of it. So I said, if you guys do that with me on a tiger, because a bear, who cares about a bear? Give me a tiger. That's much more dangerous, and put me on that. And so they pulled through on that. So now I gotta figure that out, and I'll try to put Nirvana Bob uploading here.
Oh yeah, that's the one like with the baby underwater, right?
Yeah.
Isn't that the
Yeah.
album? Yeah.
Yeah, let me see if I can upload it while you guys are talking here.
I mean, I grew up in you remember I grew up in the Wenatchee area, Bob. So in the late 80s, early 90s were my high school years. So the grunge scene was like right up my wheelhouse, man. I was all about Nirvana and Pearl Jam and Alice in Chains and Soundgarden. Yeah, I was a rocker.
Yeah, I was gonna say, I know we're not too far apart in age, I don't think so.
Yeah.
Yeah, here's the Nirvana baby. I got that uploaded now. There you go.
I forgot that the little little wiener was in that too. That's
Yeah.
Are we allowed to show that on YouTube?
Hey, it's off of their album. I didn't make it, so. No, I want to get. I'm going to turn that one into a sticker though, but I need to get the size adjusted and stuff before I can make that.
Wait, what are you going to resize, Bob?
I got to resize the whole picture. It won't go in there. It's like, and I don't think I can adjust it on the program, but yeah, the rest of that.
Bob's saying this isn't made to scale here, so let me
exactly.
Just
well, I'd rather have people think it is and be pleasantly surprised than
I gotta be honest, I loved it, but I could have gone my whole life without seeing that. Right. I will never get that image out of my head. That is great.
Yeah, that's the one I want to sell stickers for sure. But,
oh my gosh! Wow.
Yeah, wow. So that's what's been going on my live stream. See?
I got joked.
It's been pretty fun.
Well, I usually pop into all of your streams. I mean, obviously, I don't stay for the whole thing. I can't, but I must have missed. I must have missed that.
And see if you can see the.
No, and there will not be. There's that one.
With the
me on the He-Man.
Yes.
Yeah, I'm not going to do any of that thing like that. It's the actual size that has to be resized for it to fit in the program to make the sticker BB3.
No resizing the schlong. Well, this stream just took a turn, didn't it? Wow.
Yeah, that's the Saturday stream. See that we can get a little.
like it.
It's on the weekend. It's not. Doesn't have to
Anything
be
goes on the weekend.
Yeah, on the weekend it's all right. During the week, you never know.
Oh, looks like Kenneth Oaks came in. Fordman, aka Kenneth.
Yeah, never a dull moment. That's true. That's true. And Fordman's pretty cool, man. I've been inspired by him because he has a cerebral palsy, and he's been going to school to become a auto mechanic. So he's already through a lot of his courses and everything, and so he's a pretty impressive individual and has his channel going and all that stuff. So
that's cool. Wow. It reminds me of like somebody like Angel. Angel's Army, Angel Muniz, who he's battling all kinds of conditions, and he still is living, on his own and doing his thing, and that's commend you. That's awesome. Oh, I see Captain Jack Scrapper is here too.
Yeah.
Ahoy! Bob, by the way, yesterday afternoon I did something, and I don't know if you're doing this, but you really should be. I went into some of my old Rogers reveals, and I have a podcast, but I hadn't been using it. And I just downloaded the YouTube video. I use the app Anchor, and it literally will strip the audio right from the videos, and you can put in some information. And yours was one of them. But I uploaded 3 of my Rogers reveals to my podcast, and so I hope with all the interviews you're doing and stuff, I sure hope you're doing a podcast with those.
I'm going to be. My brother's going to be running it. So once I get out there and do the minivan, I'm going to have it set up. But he's going to be running the podcast part of it. So he's going to be ripping and pulling the audio and putting it up there. So
well, don't be afraid to do that with some of your older interviews too. You know how you can go in your YouTube and download it. And you'll have a nice base to start with right there. Because a lot of people I've been surprised about how many people have said, I wish, I like to listen to podcasts. I was like, oh, okay. Well, that doesn't really jive with what we're doing with YouTube. It's kind of more of a visual medium, obviously, but a lot of people, my wife is big into that. So anyway, just another way of getting your name out there.
Yeah, no, my plan has always been to put it in a podcast form. I just haven't got it yet, and I figure it's not going to hurt to have a huge catalog to be able to start uploading every so often and have the episodes, because I want to turn them all into podcasts. But that way, the podcast will never. I can take a break from YouTube, and I'll still have podcast episodes coming out.
Totally. So. Yeah, I think Bob might have been my first Rogers reveal. It was either you. Or was it Jelly Duck?
It might have been Jelly Duck and then me, but I was close to one of the first ones for sure.
Yeah, I think it was Jelly Duck. Now that I think about it, but you were right there at the beginning, and it's I like those, and I know you do too. The interviews. And Bob, you're getting really good at them too, man. I got to tell you what. Honestly, you sound like a journalist, you come prepared and you keep the conversation going, no awkward pauses. And that's harder to do than some people think, so I got to commend you on that. You're doing a great job with your interviews, man.
Well, thank you. Yeah, it's and having you say that's really awesome, because I think a lot of people think it's easy to get up and just interview somebody and just talk to them. And it's like, if you want it to be decent, you got to spend a lot of hours researching the person before you can have them on. And I didn't have to spend hours researching you because I've been watching you for hours already. So, it's kind of already done the research. Right. Some of the people I have to go through and spend a couple of days just watching their videos. But since I've known you for a while and been watching you, it's been easier to do yours than somebody else's. But, it's a lot more difficult, and that's what I've learned too. Being on the other side of the camera, I can appreciate all kinds of on-camera stuff, whether it's doing news like you do in the morning or just people, actors, actresses. I have a lot more appreciation for that kind of work now than you might used to. Just somebody watching and be like, well, what's the big deal there? It's on camera. It's not not that hard to do.
Well, I tell you, being prepared, that actually something I actually months ago wrote a script for I was going to do a video on being prepared, just when it comes to everything. And I still haven't shot it. But that's not something everybody does. And so, I mean, you should be proud of the fact that you're spending the time doing that, and just know that it shows when you do your streams, because there's a big difference. Look, some people, a very, very, very small percentage of people can get on completely clueless as to what, and it depends on what they're going for too, right? You know, I mean, is it just comedy, or are they actually trying to get a personal story? But very few people can just go on completely unprepared and do a stream that is worth watching. So I just really appreciate that you're doing that. And I would encourage everybody, if they're planning on doing something like this, or like Bob does, or like I do on Wednesdays with the interviews, that you really do a little. You don't have to spend days, you know, but at least have a general idea of a little bit of background about the person you're talking to. You know if they have a family, know if they, you know, have traveled the world. Just, I mean, it's important.
And I a lot of it I take from the quarterback from the Seahawks, because one of the things he's always says is the separation is in the preparation. And
Russell Wilson,
yep, spending all those hours. And if you guys, that's one story that really inspired me too, because, you know, anybody that's just new to football, oh, Russell Wilson, this. You don't understand. He was the third quarterback when he got here, drafted in the third round, and he's 5'10", which all those things would have told you that he should have never had a Super Bowl ring at all.
Yeah, so, I mean, and look at him. I mean, he's one of the best in the league, and he appears, at least by all accounts that I can tell, to be a good role model. You know, you don't see him out doing stupid stuff. He's trying to spread a good message. So yeah, I respect Russell Wilson a lot, for sure. I'm not you know, it's funny. I'm actually a lifelong Washington Redskins fan. When I was a little kid, that was back when they had they were winning Super Bowls, and Theismann and Riggins and all these guys, and now they're not even going to be the Redskins anymore.
No,
we probably don't want to get into all that, but
I know. That's what I heard too. And good morning to Lyndon Barker. She's also here.
Oh, Linda Barker's popped in. Hello, Linda. Yeah, that's why I'm kind of have Nettie on here, and then even when she's not working, she'll still be at least in the green room to kind of watch the chat for me, guys, as we get going, because it's hard to watch the chat and talk on air, and Matt knows about that too.
Yeah,
but I don't know how you do it on the news though, when you have somebody in your ear talking at the same time that you're talking on camera. That to me is surprising you can do that.
You know, one of the things that you've got to convey to the producers and directors, and they're usually, when they're new, they make this mistake, but then once they get yelled at a couple times by the anchors, they tend to learn. But they need to choose their spots, right? So maybe if they need to tell me something, they tell me while my co-anchor is doing a read, or they tell me during a soundbite where there's an interview being played on screen, and I don't have to talk. So, you know, you pick your spots there to convey your information to the anchors. But boy, when they do it in the middle of you chatting, it can definitely be distracting. I mean, you'll actually see anchors sometimes just pull their earpiece out, you know, because they can't focus on that. Or that's when they're getting the what they call the mix minus, where the sound is echoing back at them, like they haven't set up the audio right, so they're actually hearing themselves on a delay. That's kind of a universal sign when you see them pull that earpiece out, that the mix minus is off, and the audio person will try and fix it. But
there we go. Learn something today. So if you guys ever see that on screen, now you know what's actually going on.
That's right.
Be like, why is he doing that?
Yeah, that's right. That's why. Yep. Little insider information.
Good morning, our destination. She's also stepped in.
And by the way, I think everybody likes that name out of all the ones that you've had. I'd suggest keeping that one.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's cool. I like that.
So I know. Did you miss the traveling though of being the the one man band? Do you miss that part of of doing it where you can just go out and about and not be stuck in the building?
Yeah, I mean, there are times when you think about that, but you know, if you look at it big picture, no. But I've spent so much time in my community every morning going out and doing live shots. Take care, Chip. Have a good day. That I feel like I made a really strong connection with the community that I live in. You know,
Mhm.
people know that I was out there on a daily basis, and that, so I don't feel like I need to do it from a credibility standpoint. Is it, would it be nice to get out on a nice day? Maybe, but honestly, I'm pretty wiped out by the time I do that much news. And so I'll come home, and if my kids will let me, I'll try to get a nap in, and then I'll just enjoy my time outside here at home or with them, Um, it got to the point where there really wasn't anything that I hadn't done. You know what I mean? Like, so all of the new experiences were kind of over. And so, because you notice in the news, you tend to see kind of the same thing over and over again, right? A house
Yeah,
fire
yeah.
here,
Right.
and a murder scene there, and occasional fun piece, But so I don't really miss it that much. But there are going to be times where, even as an anchor, if it's a big story, you get sent out to field anchor, they call it, where, they'll roll the anchors out of the studio. And you'll see this from time to time, pretty much in all news markets, where they want their main anchor team or whatever, their presence out there live on scene. And so they'll send them out. And
Mm-hmm.
so that's still, something that could happen and does happen, but just not that often.
Right. So what's the story behind getting kicked out of the water park?
Kicked out of the water park?
Yeah, I thought you were kicked out of the Silverwood there for at the going down the water slide wrong or something like that.
No, no, I didn't get kicked out of Silverwood. No.
There was some story that you had there that you guys were saying on one of the nights.
Oh, well, we were going to have a race. It was one of those slides.
Okay.
It was one of those slides where they had like multiple of the same slide next to each other, right? And they had a green light, red light, green light, go kind of thing. And so my wife and I are up there, and we're getting ready to go, and I jumped the gun a little bit, and so, yeah, I didn't get kicked out, but I beat her, and then she complained because I cheated. Apparently I took off so early that my wife looked up at the guy, and he's just like, because there's a guy up there like telling you,
Yeah.
when to go and making sure everybody's in the right. He was just like, what an idiot. I had a good run too. My time was really, I flew down that thing, but I think it was disqualified. No, I didn't get kicked out though. That would have been a story. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, man. You tried to get me in trouble, Bob.
Yeah, well,
I got enough.
He was thinking hard. He's like, when did I get kicked out?
I was like, I certainly probably should have been at some point in time, but I'm trying to remember when I actually did. They actually have that open again. Because Idaho has they're pretty lax on their restrictions, and so Silverwood is open, the theme park and the water park and all of that. We haven't gotten up there this year. We probably won't, but it's a fun place.
I went by that a couple times when I was driving, It always looked like an interesting place, and it's weird because it's not even by the freeway. It's almost like it's out in the middle of nowhere, but you just come upon this big amusement park
Yeah.
just
Yeah.
north of Coeur d'Alene, and yeah, and Computer Chick says that we won't. You don't have to explain that, but
Oh,
yeah,
she just can't let the squirt story go, can she? Yeah, I don't want to rehash
yeah, we don't have to
whole thing.
rehash it. But if you want to find out what that's about, you're gonna have to go through and watch Roger's
You're
stuff
gonna
and
have to
figure out.
find
I'm
it.
not even gonna
Yeah.
tell you which
Yeah.
episode. It's
No.
in one of them.
I'm
Yeah,
gonna
go
have to
through
find it.
go
I'm
through all of them
curious.
and give me that watch time.
Yeah, because you're on. You said it was 31 something when we talked the other day.
Just
And
updated to 31:15, and I think that's typically a day behind. So I think that yeah, I'm hoping by the end of the weekend, maybe I can even approach 3,200. And you know, I didn't really start getting my watch hours until I started live streaming. So I kind of look at it like my year's going to be up at the end of September. But for the first few months, I had basically, you know,
yep.
a couple hundred hours, right? So
Right.
the nice thing is I'll have some buffer there to really create an excess of hours where I can have that rolling 365 days go for a while, and I won't have to worry too much about falling below it. But you know, I think as long as you continue to stream and produce content, you should, once you get there, you should be able to maintain it. But I don't
Mhm.
know. I'm sure there are
Yeah.
people that lose it too. So
Yeah. There's I've heard of a couple of people that have lost it, but most of the people that have lost it are ones that stop producing stuff
yeah,
altogether for months at a time, and then they just lose whatever audience they had.
Yeah.
right.
So
Well,
Well, and
I'll
I've kind
definitely
of
play it this
go
weekend
ahead.
because I haven't seen much of your content, so I'll play your playlist and I'll check you
Oh,
out.
well, thank
Mhm.
you. Awesome. Yeah, you know, I kind of developed as I started to learn how the YouTube thing worked, because again, I'm still in my first year of it here. Um, I kind of developed a strategy, to be honest with you. So initially, I was producing what I thought to be pretty elaborate, high quality content, you know, produced up rants, right? And started to gain my subscriber base. And then once I got to that 1,000, I thought, okay, now I really need to focus on the watch time.
yep.
And so I brought live streams
Mhm.
in, and really I haven't been producing as many actual rants per se, you know, the highly produced rants, because I'm trying to get the watch time. So I'm doing more live streams and
Yeah.
cutting clips from those and uploading those. The rant wars certainly has helped with that. But then once I get those watch hours, I'm going to continue to do live streams, but my plan is to then go back to creating those produced rants that drive more views, quite
Mhm.
frankly, because then at that point you want the views, because that's what's going to
Yeah.
get you the ad watches and stuff. So that was kind of my strategy as I've kind of gone along and learned. I don't know if that's the right strategy, but that's what I'm going to do.
Mhm.
Well, I'm kind of like you. I didn't just sort of get. I'm over a year and stuff like that, but I didn't start getting my hours until like October, November. I got like a little bump, but it hasn't been till recently. So I've got
Yeah.
time to get that 365. But it was really interesting when you had the and it'd be cool to have you do them again. But you had the stream where we did the analytics, where everybody put their analytics in, and we
Yeah.
could kind of figure out like where everybody was at with what their analytics were.
I plan to do that again. I
Mhm.
really thought, look, I mean, you just don't find it, you know. I mean, you can do a search and try to find, okay, so what is a good percentage of YouTube recommending or this and that. It's
Mhm.
hard to find. It's really eerie how they don't release that information.
Hmm.
And so I thought, well, heck, well, let's just get everybody in our community and just be transparent. Like, this isn't a competition. Let's just see what
Mhm.
everybody's at, so we kind of have a gauge, you know. So yeah, I think, Bob, I think I enjoyed it. I think most of the people that were on there, they stuck around because they found it interesting, and I think that's something I'm going to do again, probably wait, a month or two just so that people's stats can kind of see where they're going and everything. But I just think in this game, the more information you have, the better. It's because they do keep a lot of it secret. The algorithm stuff is a little bit of a secret to everybody. Everybody knows, okay, make good thumbnails and a good title and descriptions and blah blah blah. But there's got to be more to it than that.
Stuff is a little bit different.
Yeah. I do want to say, oh, you got it. Go ahead, Bob.
Yeah.
I was just going to do that.
I saw that one.
Journey via Lily Lens.
Yeah. So, who are you? Is there anybody that you would love to do a Rogers reveal on that you've either watched on YouTube for a while that would be like really cool to talk to?
Yeah, well, the boy John is somebody that I'm definitely looking forward to next week. I'd love to get his reaction to that whole thing where he blew up to, from under 1,000 to over 10,000 in a night, basically. Like that, I think we all kind of have that dream, like what if that happened, but I think that's going to be really cool. And, there's a couple of channels out there that I have, come across that deal with addiction and that are working to that are sober now and this and that. I'm 3.5 years sober. I quit drinking cold turkey 3.5 years ago, and so it's something that's important to me. And so I think I'm going to try, and there's I can't remember the name off the top of my head. But it's somebody that I want to try to get on and because they're doing their whole channel is about that, recovery and stuff. And so I think, because I would like to do a little bit of fun mixed with occasionally, obviously something that might help people out. And as a journalist, it's nice to kind of keep my skills sharp because I don't get to do a lot of interviews anymore right now, especially right now because they're not really allowing anybody in studio to do interviews and stuff during our newscasts. And so this is actually keeping my interview skills sharp by doing these Rogers reveals. So it's nice to work in something that has a little bit more content, news wise to it too from time to time. But and then just, the different niches, like I'm just blown away at how big your guys' niche is. I had no idea, the whole van life, RV life, homesteading. These are just huge niches that are fascinating to me. And there's so many more. There's so many more. So, I know that I'm trying to be my goal with Rogers Reveals isn't to really hone in on one particular niche. I want to get to know them all. I think it's I just want to learn a little bit about everybody. I think that's kind of the fun part about it is to interview somebody and learn something. So
and Beyond BB3 said you should check out Real Talk Recovery.
Really? Okay. Real Talk Recovery. I'll write that down. Thank you for that.
Yeah, she actually did an interview with her on her channel and it was pretty good.
Okay. No, that's great. I appreciate that, you guys. Thank you. Yeah.
Yeah, and I'm with you there. Like I don't drink anymore, and so I commend you for that. And there's a lot of us that have went through that, don't drink anymore, that are in this community, or and none of us look down to the ones that still do. For me, it was a personal thing that I didn't want to drink anymore, just like yours probably was too, Matt. And it's like.
Yep, for sure. Yeah, I have no issues with. Look, I'm not up here trying to preach to people that how they should live their lives. I just it was a choice that I made and needed to make for not only myself but for my family. So and honestly, life is good. It's so much better without it for me, personally. But no, I appreciate that. Beyond Beauty. That sounds great. I will definitely look her up. Sounds like you guys all really enjoyed the interview with her, so that would be great.
Yeah, and that's the thing that I love about doing this. Like I've heard, it used to be it's been kind of crazy because last night it really dawned on me, but like we had Blue Wave Odyssey, a lot of people have known people through. And so now I'm hearing people that have connected because they come through my channel now, which is kind of cool. And you probably have the same in yours, Matt, because that's how I met Beyond Seattle Eats is because of your channel. So it's kind of cool when you are able to start connecting people with other channels.
Yeah, it is, isn't it? Isn't that a neat feeling? Like, yeah, I think you probably get more of that than I do, Bob. But yeah, it's you know, like today, I'm gonna have to go back through here because there's some channels that I don't recognize on here that I'll have to look up and connect with. I hope you guys do the same. Leave a comment and all that, so it's easy to find each other. But yeah, I mean, I just really look. At heart, I was born in Southern Missouri. I'm a small town, like kind of just easygoing guy. And all of these RVers and the guys, like yourself, Bob, the Crockers, all that kind of stuff. Like I don't know. I feel comfortable and at home chatting with you guys. It just feels like home to me. With my current job, I kind of have to live more in the city, but I mean, my background, my upbringing, is a much more rural America, small town way of life, and just the thought of being out there on the road, like kind of living free that way. Like there are times when I think about that and it's like, man, I would love that. My wife would hate it, but I would love that. I was born beyond beauty. I was born in Southern Missouri, actually. West Plains, Missouri was the name of the little town I was born in, but we lived right for a few years when I was younger. We lived right within 10 miles of the Missouri Arkansas border, across from Mammoth Springs, Arkansas, on the Missouri side. So yeah, deep in the Ozarks.
So what, like, you went to college or whatever to go for the journalism, like, was the thought when you went to Boise, was it because that's who took you, or were you looking at that as well, kind of going, do I really want to go to Boise, Idaho, and start out there as an anchor?
Yeah, well, and I didn't anchor there. I was a photographer.
Or I mean, news reporter, but yeah.
Yeah, well, I mean, honestly, when you're first getting started, you try to get a job, right? I mean, and part of the journalism thing, part of news is that's kind of how it works. You start out typically in a small market somewhere. Honestly, starting in Boise was actually pretty cool because that's it's a capital city. It's a vibrant city. I actually really, really liked Boise. I would recommend going there to anybody. But so actually, that was a pretty good market to start in. It was bigger than a lot of markets where you start out. It was closer to home than a lot of places I could have gone. And I was only there a year, and then I was back up here into Washington. So I was pretty fortunate. There's a lot of people that bounce around 2-3 markets before they wind up where they really want to be, and years go by, and that's part of the fun. If you're young in your early 20s and you want to see the country a little bit, that's part of the charm of it. But yeah, that's kind of how it started for me. Oh, look who's here. Ridge is here. Simplified.
Oh, nice.
Yep, and nursing our travel bug.
Yeah. And Biumbi 3 says she knows West Plains. Have you ever heard of Piedmont?
Boy, it's been so long. I don't recall Piedmont. There's no way you will have heard of the town that I went to school in. It was called Koshkonong, Missouri. Like literally, it had 5 people in it. It was so small. But that was back in my early elementary grade years when I was there.
And that's Ridge's new channel name, or different channel, Simplified Filming?
Yeah, Simplified Filming. He's doing, he's made a couple of feature films, and he's got some great tips, you guys, on how to make a film, or just camera tips, things like that. So yeah.
I'll have to go add that one because I had the Ridge Mallory one, so
Right.
Mm-hmm.
I'll have to
He's
go
doing
add that
most
one.
of his stuff on Simplified right now. I think that's where
Okay.
his kind of his heart is right now, and I think it's a good call. Like that's kind of his bread and butter. I think
Right.
is that niche. But
So, do you ever have Maddie have to teach you how to play on Fortnite there, how to do different things?
oh yeah, if he'll have me. I mean, it's to the point now. It's to the point now where he won't even like. I'll be down here where I'm set up, and he's upstairs. I'll be down here, and I'll log on, and maybe going to do a live stream of Fortnite, right? And again, I probably only do that on YouTube once a week. I have a Twitch account where if I want to do any gaming, I'll do it over on my Twitch account. But I haven't been gaming much this week at all. But yeah, I'll log in and I'll be ready to play, and I'll send him an invite because I know he's up there playing. And the little craphead won't accept my invite. It's like he's like, Dad, you're a noob. Because he is like way better than me.
Right.
I'm holding him back, you see, when he plays with me. So it's pretty funny actually, but we'll play together sometimes, and again, it's a bonding way. I mean, look, the video games, I've come to kind of embrace them a little bit more than I did initially because I kind of see what's going on. It is a way of socializing, especially right now with everything happening. And it is a bonding time for a father and a son, or a daughter and a father, just to spend a little bit of time playing a video game. There's something to be said for that. Now, again, it's all a balance. You got to get outside. We make sure that we went on a hike here last week. I did a little video about that, and they had a blast, and it's important to continue to do that. But I'm not going to poo-poo the video games because I did it when I was a kid. I'd be being hypocritical if I got all over them about it. So
what was
I
your
try to
favorite
embrace
game
it.
when you were younger?
My favorite game? Ooh, I really like, do you remember the game Defender on the Atari? Yeah. The Defender, Missile Command. Yeah, that's the one you're thinking of there.
Yeah.
The once the Nintendo came out, a Donkey Kong was really fun.
Yeah. I
remember going to the like there was a store that had like one game in it, an arcade game, and you'd put the quarters in there. And me and my buddy, we would always check the payphone outside the store because sometimes you'd find a quarter in there. One time we found 4 quarters in the payphone.
That was the best day ever.
Oh, it was jackpot, baby. Yeah, those were the days, right? You'd walk to the store. Parents didn't have a problem with it. You didn't have to worry about crazy crap, and just you'd walk to the store and you'd stick your finger in the payphone and see if there was a quarter in it and give you more game time.
be home by dark. That's what it used to be.
Yeah. I know, right? I wouldn't do that with my kids now, man. I just wouldn't.
Oh, Rich said he only allows NES, but his kids love playing Mario.
Oh, Mario was that's a classic.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Mario was amazing. Battleship, I see over there. Yeah. Ping pong game, the Pong. Yeah.
Yeah.
Will it
Remember
grow?
how simple
Hello?
that was?
Yeah. And New Horizons. Yeah, and then Frogger. Frogger. Yeah, that was a good one too.
Pitfall.
Yeah, Pitfall. Yeah. I used to have an Intellivision. I had an Atari too, but I had the Intellivision, the intelligent television.
Look at all these gamers suddenly we're finding out. Duck Hunt. I mean, see, they're closet gamers in your chat here.
Oh,
Bob.
yeah. I'm not surprised.
Well, life on the road, you got to have something to do sometimes, right? So you just fire up the the gaming console there.
Well, not even that. I mean, look on your phone and the tablet. Look at the games you can play on there compared to what we used to have to play
True.
on Atari and all that stuff. They're like
Oh, yeah.
incredible compared to that.
Hi, will it grow? Nice to see you. Yeah, I mean the graphics are better on your phone now than they were with the whole console back when we
And
were
wasn't
growing
there
up.
a game called like Paddles? It was just like back and forth, like paddleboard.
I think that was
That's
Pong,
Pong.
wasn't it?
Was that Pong?
I think
Yeah.
that was Pong.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you had the lines that would go up and down, and you just had to
Right.
move the line. Yep. Man, that was, you think about it. Now when I really think about it, man, arcades back in the day were basically bars for kids because
Yeah.
they set up those machines, and the owners want you, just like the owners want you to drink, the owners of those places want you to pump in the quarters. So it's
Oh,
basically
yeah.
a bar for kids.
Yep, and we sure did. I tell you what, they made a fortune off of us. Yeah. But it was kind of like the thing to do, right? All right, we're gonna head to the arcade.
Well,
Play
those all
some,
died now that everybody's got them at home. Now you have the machines at home. The arcades died. Those aren't really around anymore.
I
But
know. But it's still fun, like when you do come across one. Like we've been on a cruise and they have like a little arcade room in the cruise ship, or different fun zone places where they have arcades. Like there's still something nostalgic and something exciting, even for the kids of today, to actually sit there and grab the steering wheel, or it's a new experience for them, and or hold the gun, what they're shooting versus hitting a button. It's still
there
exciting.
We go. Now we know where all our money went to Linda.
Linda. Oh my gosh, that's funny.
Yeah. What was hey Linda? While you're in here, what was his hated game that he hated to have in there? Like he had to repair it all the time. That's what I want to know. Because he'll have a different opinion of which game he liked.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or which one was the biggest money maker?
Yeah. Yeah. Now we've been talking because I'm gonna go over there, and you were talking about dicks, and I told you, man, I like Zips better.
You're a Zips guy, yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
and
I tell you, I'm buying you lunch, Bob. When you come through Spokane, we're gonna hit up Zip. We're gonna hit up Zips, and yep, it's on me. It's on me. I'll get you fueled up for the rest of your drive.
Yeah, man. I've been over there quite a bit, and I actually really like Spokane. Like down there by where I don't know if it's the convention center and the college are kind of down there close to the area downtown there. That's really pretty.
Yeah.
And then when you come in off the mountain on 90 and you drop down into town, that's always a pretty drop right there too.
Yeah, you can see Mount Spokane off in the background. You got the city buildings, and it's a great entrance.
What's your favorite place around there that most people don't know about?
Well, one of the spots I really like, and I don't go there anymore because I quit drinking. I might still go up there just to walk around, but there's a winery called Arborcrest, and it's more in Spokane Valley, so it's out over the valley, but it sits up on a cliff. They built this old house. It's old, like I think it's called the Riblet Mansion, and the person that built that invented the chairlift. Like that they use like at ski resorts, and they used to have a chairlift that would run, and this thing is hundreds of feet up, and it would run down and across the Spokane River to the other side. But it's called Arborcrest Winery, and it's just incredible. Like it's all this old stone building structures, and they have like these. It just feels like it's from a different era, and it like these little walkways, and they have tulips, and they've made it into a winery, and it's just spectacular. I really enjoy it. We've got a great park down in downtown Spokane called Riverfront Park.
Yeah, that one's a good one.
That's really fun to walk around. Manitou Park. We have some really nice parks here in Spokane. And I see Ridge is talking about Frank's Breakfast Restaurant. Yeah, that's a classic. That's a Spokane staple. It's actually a diner that is built into an old train caboose. So like they took an actual train, caboose, and they built a diner in it, and it's pretty neat.
Yeah, and Linda Barker says pinball games were the ones that he hated because they broke all the time.
I
But
bet.
she also said that Donkey Kong was the big money maker.
Yeah.
Donkey Kong was, that was a cool game. We actually bought. They came out with the Super Nintendo like vintage versions here, where you could buy them at like Target and stuff. And they came preloaded with the games. You didn't actually put the games in them, and it had Donkey Kong on them. And my son and I spent a couple of months playing for however long, and we beat it, and that was kind of cool.
Oh, wow.
I
Okay.
forgot how cool Donkey Kong was. It's
Mhm.
a great game.
Well, I do know when I get back, I'm more than likely, just because of the price difference, I'm probably going to be getting property over in Eastern Washington.
Are you really? Okay.
Yeah, probably over by Republic is where I've been
Okay.
looking because it's
Up
decent
north?
price, and then you still have trees and all that kind of stuff
Oh
too.
yeah,
It's
it's
not,
beautiful.
yeah,
Beautiful up there,
so
Bob. I mean, you're in the mountains, and
Mhm.
I mean, you're basically in Canada,
yeah,
But yeah, that is a gorgeous area there. You know where
yeah.
else is neat is over there by, but it's probably more expensive, is over by Winthrop.
Oh yeah,
Gosh, that's gorgeous up there.
yeah,
Washington State is such a diverse geographical state. It's amazing. I mean, you literally have for everything from ocean beaches to rainforests to a 14,000-foot mountain, in Rainier, to desert through the Central Basin. And then over here where I'm at, it's more kind of just that mountainous kind of in
yeah,
between, where you've got the big trees and the
Yeah.
mountains, but it's there's also some dry and flat area. It's amazing how, sorry, I got a nose itch. It's amazing how geographically diverse it is. It's
yeah,
incredible.
yeah. And I didn't realize till I started driving, just because you don't pick up on it necessarily, but they're like the highest producing potato county in America isn't in Idaho, it's in Washington.
Yeah, Moses
Like,
Lake area, Grant County, is it?
yeah,
Yeah.
and most of the hops come from Washington for the beer, and
Yep.
most of the apples come from here, and so
Yep.
you just find out a lot of stuff that this one little state up in the corner that most people even forget exists, except for Seattle. They remember, though, they know that, but they don't know what state it's in sometimes. But
Right. Well,
Yep.
yeah, I'll tell people I'm from Washington, and they automatically say, "Oh, it rains all the time there." Well, actually, no, not really. I'm on the eastern side of the
yeah,
state, almost in Idaho, and it's actually sunny like 300 days out of the. It's kind of like Denver, claims it's. I actually relate our climate a lot to Denver's
yep,
here in Spokane's.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
We
yeah.
got three more
It's
people that came into the chat, Bob.
Oh, okay. I know I saw Lori's Crochet Corner and Mike and MJ.
And Shanna Craft. I saw
Oh,
her too.
Shanna Craft.
Mm-hmm.
Try to pop her up, but she might be a little bit part. Oh, there you go. And then we just had another one too. Ramblin' Rebel, Lost on Highway.
Good
That's
morning,
great.
everybody.
Yeah, it's that rain shadow from the Cascade Mountains, just like
Yeah.
the Rocky Mountains over that do for Denver. And you guys get
That's
snow
where I
over
grew
there.
up. That's where I grew up in the Wenatchee area, which is on that rain shadow. And for the most of my childhood, I grew up over there in a small town between Wenatchee and Leavenworth called Cashmere, and it is, you get that rain shadow effect, and you wind up with actually a lot of sun and not nearly as much precipitation.
Mhm.
Now over here in Spokane, it kind of has a chance to regroup itself, and we'll get hit with it sometimes, but it's still a pretty temperate, climate.
Yeah.
Mm.
And Cashmere is a pretty little town. Like,
Yeah.
it's out of the way. And I was at the Wenatchee Thousand Trails over there, and if you guys ever have a chance to come up here, Wenatchee is definitely one of the places you want to go. It's the rivers around there are real beautiful that flow down there. I think it's the Yakima that flows down there by Wenatchee.
The Columbia.
or the Columbia.
It's the
Yeah.
Columbia, yeah, and they have the Wenatchee River too that you can
Yeah.
float. And yeah, there's a lot of outdoor activities. I mean, if you guys that are into driving around this RV community, you know, yeah, there's a ton of cool places. You go up to Lake Chelan, and that's like a gorgeous, like glacier fed basically lake that is just, there's a little town there, and it's amazing. I mean, they actually have areas of it that aren't accessible by the lake, that aren't accessible by vehicle. You have to be on a boat to get up to it. Now they get a lot of wildfires up in that area, but it's amazing. Yeah, it was a neat place to grow up.
What was your favorite memory as a kid from there? Like that you guys did as kid? I mean, probably some stuff you can't do now, but do you remember having fun as kids out there? Like what did you guys used to get up to?
We'd float the river. But you know, we would drink a lot of Kool-Aid and play a lot of baseball, man. I was a big baseball fan and played through high school. Actually pitched a no-hitter my senior year of high school, believe it or not.
Nice.
And so we just did a lot of that kind of stuff. You know, we'd play baseball with a tennis ball and a basically whatever we could find, a stick or, you know, a slab of wood or something, and go out in the back. I had a little bit of room in the back, and we created a game called WAP. And every once in a while, there was a creek that ran by my house. And every once in a while, a tennis ball a ball would go into the creek, and we would have to go on a recovery mission, and we'd be running for, you know, a half a mile, maybe more, trying to get this tennis ball because they were like gold, you know, especially if they weren't flat. And so we'd go chasing the tennis ball and get in the creek, and you know, it's just a simple way of life, you know.
I remember just making a dollhouse out of wood growing up. And also the go-karts, I would get my steel skates, put them down underneath it, and make go-karts.
Man.
Yeah, that's awesome. That's what it's all about.
Yeah, for sure. When do you think you're gonna be out of news? Like when do you want to retire out of doing that? And
what's your future look like as far as that?
Well, I mean, I'm 46, and so technically speaking, I've still got a good almost 20 years before I can really retire. If I want to continue in this field, I still enjoy what I'm doing. I'm hoping that, you know, this time will pass and it'll get a little less taxing mentally with what we're doing. But I'm really enjoying YouTube. I doubt I'll ever be able to quit news and just do this. I don't think, you know, that the people that are able to do that are pretty few and far between, but you never know. I mean, we'll see where it takes me. But for now, I'm going to just kind of keep plugging along, and I've still got 2 kids, you know, that are 8 and 11. And so I'm looking at another 10 years before they're out of the house at the earliest. And that probably won't happen in 10 years. So, you know, I gotta provide for the family and stuff. I mean, there's parts of me that wish I could just start all over, but at the same time, I think I would miss it. You know, I get up at 2:00 in the morning every day to go to work. And that's starting to get old. If I would say, if anything kicks me out of it, it'll probably be just physically, I'm just not able to do it anymore. I mentioned to you guys, I don't sleep very well typically. And so, except for last night, which was great, but you know, that I could see that becoming an issue at some point where I'm just too exhausted to do it. But for now, it's my job, and I still enjoy it. It beats, you know, digging a ditch for a living. You know, I couldn't do that anymore. So I'll get up early. I'll throw on the suit and tie, and yes, a little bit of makeup. Not much, but
just a little bit.
Just a little to take the shine off. They make us do that, and you know, we'll keep doing it because it is an important job. You know, I know that media is there's some people that aren't doing it right, and I try to make sure that I am. I take that seriously. So there's still a few of us left out there, guys, that are trying to do it the right way. Please believe me. I know that there are a lot that aren't, but there's still a few of us that are, and we're a dying breed, but we're not dead yet, by golly.
So if you get the opportunity to fall asleep and wake up to make enough money on YouTube to where you didn't have to go in a news anchor, then you'd be doing YouTube instead of news anchor. Then
I'd consider it. Yeah. There is a part of me that wishes I could just speak my mind.
Right.
And I have to be very careful about that right now, because I am still, a public figure and working in the news business. I can't get opinionated with certain topics. That's why I don't talk religion or politics on my channel. Yep. But there's a part of me that just really, really wants to be able to just say what I want and not have to answer to anybody about it. Right. I mean, because it's hard. It's hard to be not be able to do that. So that's very appealing to me, Bob.
Yeah.
But
just to be you. You just want to be you, basically.
The creative freedom probably too to do what you want.
And I can do more of that here on YouTube than I can on the news. But I mean, it's like I told my station, like, look, I'm not going to say anything on YouTube that I wouldn't say out there on that set, because I do tend to push the envelope a little bit. That's why people wanted me to do a rant channel. Some of my coworkers are like, I'm not afraid to let my opinion be known on some things, and so so I try to play it. I try to play it straight when it comes to certain topics, but I'd love to just be able to let it loose sometimes, man.
And will it grow? I'll be watching it afterwards, but it's all right,
Well, maybe you should come
my
to
beard will win, so it's all right.
Yeah. Come to some of our late nights that we do, and you can just let it go.
Well, I'd love to, but that's the problem, is that since this is out there, I mean, all it takes is my boss to
somebody coming across it,
and they may very well be monitoring me for all I know. We don't really, we came to an agreement. I don't use my social media accounts at work to, advertise my channels. I wish I could, because I could really grow if I could do that. I have a lot more following on Facebook and stuff at work than I do. The page that I made for Rants with Rogers, but we came to an agreement. It was fair. I felt okay about it. But all it would take is them to see me, really do something that I shouldn't be doing, and then we're going to have problems. So I really try to be careful about that.
Understandable.
Yeah.
And Lori's Crochet Corner, that's not going to do you any good, because Stream Elements is a bot there. So
it has no.
Wait,
content.
are you actually able to do that? You can join their channel.
They're actually channels. Nightbot and Stream Elements are channels, and so you have to add them as moderators to your channel, and that's how you get it to work.
Hey man, that with 1,000 subscribers, you never know.
Yeah.
Well, I hope some of the folks that are here that maybe haven't come across me before will give me a look. I know that I'm looking forward to going through and connecting with some of the channels in here. It's just such a great supporting community, and really, Bob, I mean, I'm just so glad that our paths crossed. Me too. And Melnette, I think that I'm looking forward to checking out your content too. I don't think we've had a chance to connect before, so it's nice to meet you. And real quickly, now, are you kind of are you a traveling kind of RV? Are you in an RV right now? Is that what I'm?
Yeah, we're in a Class A diesel pusher, and we've actually been living in it going on 4 years at the same RV park. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
So, but we have traveled in it, but we're fixing to retire in September. My husband is retiring the middle of September. I'm at the end of September, and we're going to start traveling in it. So, and our name, of course, his name is Mel. I'm Nettie, and we're going to living free zip codeless. So we're very excited to hit the road, and I'm definitely going to play your playlist this weekend.
Well,
Yeah.
That's exciting. Congratulations. Early congrats on the
you.
retirement. What a feeling that must be, man. That is
Oh yeah.
talk
It's
about
like
freedom, huh?
I got 9 weeks. I'm already counting the weeks left to
Oh,
work.
wow.
Yeah, I'm
Yeah.
looking forward to it.
Yeah.
Well, it's really a pleasure to have had a chance to get to know you a little bit this morning.
Thank
You've
you.
got a very nice presence about you, and
I
and
appreciate
it's
it.
been fun. Yeah,
Yeah.
Bob, thank you for having me on, man. I appreciate the opportunity.
Oh yeah, no problem. I'm gonna go ahead and play the video. You guys get over to, I think Captain Jack Scrapper is next. If you guys
All right.
Yeah.
want to get over there and see him, I'm gonna play the video, and we'll see you guys tomorrow, or not tomorrow, Monday.
Monday.
So, yeah, stop waiting for life to happen and make it happen. Later, guys.
Bye.